And greetings all. In this final standalone video, I wish to show you how to analyze data from the IAT using IAT Gen. So in this video, we're going to assume that you have run an IAT survey already. Of course, this is just a quick start video, so plenty of more information is available in our IAT Gen paper, as well as in our advanced users guides and other resources on our website, www.iatgen.wordpress.com. From there, it will link you to our Open Science Foundation page where all of our files are stored. In this video, I have the same insect flower IAT we were playing with before, but I took the liberty of deleting out all the fake consent and fake questionnaires that we might have had. I'm going to go to data analysis and look at it, and I have two completed responses. This is because yours truly stumbled his way through the IAT a couple of times to give us some data to play with. When you're ready to analyze your IAT study, you will probably use whatever statistical tool you like to use. Now, many people in psychology like SPSS, many people in psychology are R users, many others in other fields like Stata or SAS. Whatever you want to use is perfectly fine. But for IAT Gen, you're going to need to export a CSV file. So we're just going to go to Export Data, and we're going to ask for the legacy format, which is important. And we're going to click the CSV format. And when you do that, it'll download a file here, and it will generate a zip file here. So iatflowins.zip, and you see here when it opens it, it just gives this CSV file. Now you don't need to open it to run an IAT Gen, but I just thought I would show you. So here you have all the variable names. Here you have a little row that indicates what the question was, and then here will be all your data. And as you see here, I've got some IAT data, and I just briefly want to show you how this works. So of course, there's 4 permutations to the IAT to counterbalance starting positions of targets and categories. So here you have one, here you have another, here you have another, and here you have the last one. So just so you know, for any given IAT block, you have this set of characters here. So let's make sense of this. So each of these little blurbs here separated by commas is a trial. So this actually is the IAT data. So this is 40 trials from one of the IAT permutations. It's actually named for you. This is the permutation where target A starts on the right, initially paired with negative. And this is block 7 from that IAT, in case you were curious. And not that you want this information right now necessarily, but just so you know, it's here. This was stimulus 27, and it took, in that particular trial, a little over 2 seconds. Here was stimulus 4, and this was 700 milliseconds. And then the letter here tells you whether it was incorrect or correct. So this contains all the information we need to analyze the data. Was it correct or incorrect? What stimulus was it? And what was the latency? Now, if you're curious about the stimuli, let me pull back up IAT Gen here. And so if I go back to my example IAT, the stimuli are actually numbered for you, starting with the positive, negative, target A, and target B. So if I have 7 stimuli in each category, then this would be the positive category would be stimuli 1 through 7, and then I would go 8 through 14, and then so on through all 28 of my stimuli. So just so you know, that's a way of identifying which stimuli went to which trial. You actually, as long as you kept a record of what you put into IAT Gen, which by the way, you can click Save Project to create a little file that saves it for you. But as long as you kept a record of how this was configured, you can backtrack and figure out if you want on the back end which stimuli were associated with which things. If you do data analysis in the R package, there's actually some tools for that, but we don't go into that in this video series. All right, so this is what the data look like. Now, let's go ahead and look at how it might be analyzed. So go to the Analyze tab and click Browse, and just find the data. And I actually have it here in my Downloads folder. We just created it here. And it will automatically clean it for you. And here we go. So let's take a look at what is in the output here. So this is me just playing with the IAT. This is therefore not going to be perfectly valid. We have 2 participants who completed it. We didn't have any trials over 10 seconds kicked out. We had no participants kicked out due to button mashing, excessive speed. Details on these cleaning procedures are drawn straight from Greenwald et al. 2003 and are discussed at length in our IAT Gen paper, by the way. The error rate was nearly 30%, which is not surprising. Our reliability could not actually be validly calculated with 2 participants, but normally this would be a number in the 0.6 to 0.8 range, depending on your IAT and how reliable it is. You have here D-score mean. So this was the average D-score was 0.35, which is a pro-flower bias. However, this runs a t-test on it for you with 1 degree of freedom. Clearly not significant, but it gives you a CI and Cohen's D, which is kind of neat. It actually gives you the individual D-scores for each participant here, and these will line up with your original data. So if you want, and you can actually get a spreadsheet of these if you click here to download. It will spit out a little thing called IAT results. Here you go. So you'll have all of your participants' D-scores here, and you could actually just copy-paste this column into, I guess not with the title, but you could copy-paste this column into SPSS. It'll line up, or any tool you want with your raw data. It'll line up with your participants just fine. So there you have it. The IAT data analysis tool can score the IAT. Again, details of how this scoring procedure works can be found in our IAT Gen paper, as well as in the Greenwald et al. 2003 manuscript. One last thing I will note, the default analysis settings are designed to work with the default IAT building settings. That is specifically with forced error correction in place. So there is no error penalty added in the analysis. If you want to change that, you are welcome to do that. Simply set the length of the error penalty here, and before you load the data, and IAT Gen will do the rest. You can play with various data analysis configurations if you want, if that is something you are interested in doing. If you want to do a 2 standard deviation penalty, you can type 2SD, and it will actually recognize that for you as well. All right, that's it. We hope that this video series has been helpful to you to get you at least up and running at a basic level with IAT Gen. Thank you very much, and please be sure to check out our website with advanced resources for much more detailed information.